Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our live case study today. First of all, I would like to introduce you to our special guest, Allan. He's the CEO of County Kildare Chamber in Ireland, and Allan has been leading the chamber for over 10 years, actually 12. And I'm confident that today he will share with us some valuable insights into the digital transformation of a membership-based organization. Allow me to introduce myself as well. I'm Ksenia Farkas. I'm leading sales in Europe, and I've been part of GlueUp for nearly 7 years. I had a pleasure meeting Allan in person in Geneva this year at the World Chambers Congress. It's an event that brings together chambers and associations from across the globe. And if you represent a membership-based organization, I highly recommend attending their next edition in Australia in 2025. To kick things off, Allan, could you please tell us more about yourself and the chamber that you have successfully led for over a decade?
Yeah, no, thanks very much, Ksenia, and good morning to everybody. So my name is Allan Shine. I'm Chief Executive of County Kildare Chamber, so we're a business organisation in the Mid-East region of Ireland. So it's just kind of close to Dublin, 20 miles outside Dublin. We've 400 companies in our organisation across all different sectors of business. Small team, there's 5 of us in the team in the chamber, so we're busy, very busy. A bit about myself personally. Married, 3 little kids, 2, 4, and 6, and then a chamber that is another little child as well that I've been lucky enough to be spearheading for the last 12 years.
Thank you, Allan. I assume that throughout so many years, the chamber, you tried using different platforms, right, to manage the operations when it comes to the memberships, communication, events. And since we're talking today about the digital transformation, what software applications did you use before switching to GlueUp?
So the first system when I came in and took over, it was a beautiful system called Microsoft Excel. So that's what we used at the very beginning. So when I took over the chamber, there was probably, I think there's 40 or 50 companies. That's all that was in it. It was a small, very small town chamber doing very little. But the board at the time, thank God, had the foresight to say we have to grow and we have to become big. So they raised a lot of money to enable them to employ me to kind of come in and to create a bigger structure. So at the beginning, I just used very simplistic Excel templates and deleted the wrong columns and the wrong cells and made a mess of it more so than I got good information from it. But from that, then we went and started looking at different systems. And probably, if I'm allowed to name the system, we went to Zoho and used the free platform of that. Then we used it, we tailored it and used the paid version and used that for a number of years. And then we moved over to another system maybe 5, 6 years ago, US platform, Chamber Master. And that suited our needs at the time, suited our needs quite well. It gave us a good amount of the reporting that we needed. But I think in January of this year, I just felt that in a membership organization, you go into every year saying, I'm going to do something different this year. I'm going to change the world, or I'm going to do whatever it is. So this year, my main focus was looking at the CRM, digitalization, and digitalizing the chamber organization a bit better, because we're very good at preaching about to companies about what companies need to do. But then internally, then we don't do it ourselves. So probably January time, I looked at Ksenia and kind of said to myself, right, the system that we're using suits our needs, but it's not changing. It's not changing quickly enough and it's not adapting. There was no upgrades to it. Very little I could see was going to happen to it going into the future. So we started looking at different systems, primarily systems that had Irish HQs. So there's a lot of companies here that would manage and have their own off-the-shelf CRM systems. And then some larger companies. We're a base here in Ireland, obviously, for European headquarters of a lot of American firms. So we started looking at different American systems. And then I went to Geneva to the World Chamber Congress and met your good self. Congratulations, your trade stand was probably the best trade stand there, because you captured everybody you walked into the Congress. You were the first stand to see. And I'd say within 10 minutes of looking at the system, I knew that that system was ideal for what we need now, but what we as an organization need going into the future. So it's future proof in the next number of years by going with your system.
Got it. Actually, Alan, your idea to change the system in January sounds like, you know, this motto, new year, new me. So just same was for you in the chamber, right, probably. You did mention in the beginning the Excel spreadsheets that you've been using 10 years ago. Actually, up until now, I always say that Excel is the main competitor of GlueUp, because a lot of organizations, they're just afraid of making this change. And I think it's always much easier to change from from a technology to a different technology rather than from Excel to a technology, because this sounds like it looks like a bigger step for organizations. And based on your experience, when is the right time to look for a new technology for an organization, or to change from one to another? So at what point you realize that, okay, we need to make a change? Is it the lack of support, lack of features, lack of development, change of needs? What was this kind of the point for you?
I think the point for us was the system that we're using. I think we reached its capabilities. I found it very hard to get the reports from it. You just could spend 10 minutes trying to find the report that you need, and then you had to custom make the report, and I just found it very cumbersome. It wasn't changing or adapting in any shape or form to what we needed going into the future. And then we're a very active organization, and we're lucky that the organization continues to grow. The system wasn't growing with us in any shape or form. It could do the basics. It could absolutely 100% would do the basics of what we needed. But even from a sales perspective, it's very Excel-y. It wasn't. It didn't look or give you. You know, you couldn't drag or drop. You couldn't move your pipeline to the confirmation that the sales process wasn't moving like it does with GlueUp, which is just you can move it a lot quicker. You can visualize it with GlueUp a lot quicker. You can see so much instantly with GlueUp in terms of income, projected income, a lot quicker. But it's like any system; it's only as good as the person using the system. So we've struggled ourselves internally. We've gone with a member of staff that's gone out on maternity leave. With another member of staff that started that has left, that was going to be in charge of this new system. So we've struggled internally with the transformation. But that's our issue and that's our challenge. And hopefully that will change in the new year with a new hire coming in January that will take over the whole management of the system. But we're so excited. We believe it's a great partnership with yourselves. The training is unbelievable. It's just fantastic. There seems to be training every single day, different time zones, just constant communications coming in from yourselves that we did not have beforehand with the previous platform that we used. So we're really excited in terms of a time that an organization should look to transform, to make that leap, to change the system. I think you just do it. You just jump into it and do it, because there's never a right time to do anything, really. We were lucky we did it during the summer. In Ireland, in our chamber, August is a very quiet month. Everyone seems to go on holidays in August. The phones are quiet, emails are quiet. So August was the month that we did that transformation as such. The first leap was done in August. So that was a good time for us to kind of to try to move the systems.
Thank you, Alan. And since you already started talking about the onboardings, I will just switch to a different question then to comment on this one. What would you recommend to the potential clients that, let's say, considering using GlueUp? Maybe you would change something, because you're one of our champions when it comes to the to going live with the system, because you didn't go live within like 20 or 25 days, and if you already now, like 6 months later, would you still go live like with the whole platform at once, or you would take it slowly, step by step?
So yeah, no, we went live very quickly. But we had the resources at the time and the capability and the knowledge internally to be able to do that. It took us, so we just exported all our information from our other system, and obviously that just didn't suck into GlueUp straight away because the systems are different and what you needed was different to what we had. So that took a few days, and the little things we were lucky. This Stripe was very quick to integrate into Stripe. Our accounts, our account system took a bit longer. We're still learning that whole integration side of things. We're still working around that, but it's working very well. But I think you just do it quickly. That would be maybe that's just me, but if you think that this is going to be a 6 month project, you're going to leave everything to the 5th and 6th month. You're not going to, during the first, the month 3, you're going to be distracted with a huge project in your organization that takes you away from this project that you need to kind of really be focused on. But I think the support and the backup with yourselves in terms of ongoing support is fantastic. That if we forget how to do this or forget how to do that, we just jump onto a live call or a pre-recorded call. So it's really helpful.
Thank you, and that's very nice to hear. Just also from the experience, some of our clients are struggling with an idea of selling the idea of changing the technology to their own teams, because people, sometimes they just don't like changes. I'm actually one of those people. And has it ever been a challenge for you within the chamber, so that you have to actually convince people to switch from one technology to another one?
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody likes change. The only person that likes change is a little baby with a wet nappy. That's the only person that likes a change. And nobody likes change. I didn't like the change, but I knew we had to make the change. So I had to convince my staff that we had to make the change. But when they went through the demo and looked at the demo model and played around with it, they could very easily see the difference. And the difference was so easy there. It's visually, the two systems totally different. But they could see quite quickly then from a reporting perspective how quickly we can get real live data, real live information, where on the other system we struggled with. And that's not to say maybe on the other system we weren't trained as well as we should have been. But with this system, I think it was very easily identifiable very quickly that the support that we can get from yourselves, that we knew if there was an event module training, it wasn't going to be in a month's time. It was going to be within a week. We could jump onto a module, a training, and then yourself and your team are always there. Within 24 hours, you're able to respond quite quickly with any query or concern that we had.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you that it's very important to get a proper training, because you might have an amazing technology, amazing tool, but if you don't know how to use it properly, then it's just a waste of money and time for the company that's purchasing this, the solution, right? And since we started talking about different features and reporting, we can definitely all agree that most of the chambers and associations, they have very similar mission, but surely each organization is different, right, in terms of the services that they are providing, especially if they are located in different countries. And based on your experience with different providers and with different tools, what are the main functionalities that you would recommend to membership-based organizations to look for when they're selecting the technology for their chamber or association?
I think as we move to this whole new world of digitalization and AI, I think GlueUp, only in my opinion, is a very good partner for that. But the functionality, I know I'll be able to reduce costs next year with GlueUp from the accounting perspective, so that it'll automatically send invoices out to our membership at the correct time, at the correct date, with the correct invoice, with the correct message. The correct message, we obviously put in the correct message that it goes out. And then we know that because it's integrated into our account system, we know that it can send out that reminder invoice the following month or 2 months later and so forth. That's going to save us a lot of time, which is excellent. We know that our retention, we've excellent retention in the organization with our membership that we have at the larger scale of membership, with the smaller membership that pay a smaller fee. That will be a weak point with us. So this system will allow us to engage through very effectively, very quickly, where we can very easily see that a member is not attending events, hasn't been seen at any event over the last few months. So the system will be able to send a lovely, friendly email. Haven't seen you in a few months. Here's what's coming up in the organization. and it can do that, and then it's recorded very quickly, and we can see the open of it and the click rate through that as well. So it will save time, and then time costs money, so it'll save money as well, which is fantastic, obviously.
I agree. Having different engagement metrics is very important, especially before starting any renewals for the organizations, right? For members, just to make sure that you follow up with the least engaged members, and you try to figure out why they have not been engaged. Maybe you can fix something, or I don't know, for an additional discount for the upcoming year. So this kind of small features, they really changed the organization. And based on your obviously experience, what are the best practices of choosing the right technology partner? So how do you decide that you're going to have a partnership, like the contract, right, with one company and not with the other one? Is it budget, set of features, support, local support, not local support? Maybe the fact that it's being used by other organizations in the region or in the specific country. What is best practices for you?
It's probably nearly everything that you just kind of outlined. Like there was risks. No, but there was risks. Like Glue Up in Ireland wouldn't be a hugely recognizable name yet for CRM system providers. So that in itself, that 100% was a risk that we had to look at. But the risk was very easily taken out of the equation when we looked at your client referrals and the organizations that you're working with, not just chambers, but that you're working with universities and different organizations that would have the same needs as us, but in different ways. The risk was further negated by the fact that you were in Dubai at the World Chamber Congress, that you're in Geneva, and most likely will be in Australia. So you're not going away as an organization in any shape or form. I love the way that you're continually investing in the organization and investing in the product and the service that you're providing. We did look at Irish providers and European providers, different providers. But I think price comes into it as well. It's the price was right. I think it's priced very competitively in the market. But I think the main thing for me was the whole digitalization of the platform, that it'll follow us on that journey as well. While you're on that journey a lot further than us, we have to catch up as an organization to where Glue Up is, and that's a challenge for us, but I think it's a great challenge for us to face into.
Agree. And has there been any feedback on the new platform from your members, maybe team members plus the members of your organization, obviously?
Yeah, no, the team members are very good. Like, nobody at the very beginning, it was a struggle. It's a struggle for anyone to change any and to implement any system into an organization. So that it was challenging at the beginning. It was, as you said, like it was 25 days. So that was a challenge, but we set that month that we were going to do nothing else that month. We were fully focused on this for one full month. And that just happens to be the quiet month of the year that we have. So that was ideal. The membership, we're still engaging with our membership in regards that we have this new system. So we still haven't introduced the system to all our members yet. So we're doing that in a tiered basis of membership categories. So we're integrated, instead of going out to our whole membership and then getting loads of queries and concerns and issues and challenges, we're going one by one in terms of categories. Welcome them to the new system, showing them how they can log in, how they can update their own profile and change their own information within the system. So that's still a journey. And that journey will never end, because we will have new businesses joining the organization and businesses exiting the organization. So that journey will never end for us. It's a lot busier for us, obviously, at the beginning. But it's a great advantage with that as well, is you're engaging with membership that you mightn't have engaged with a lot over the last year or two. And I think it's really important, though, that for a chamber or trade organization, that you're telling a really good story, that you're telling a story that you're bringing in a new system, and the new system is going to transform the organization or help to transform the organization. So that's a good news story that you're telling your membership. So it's but a lot of companies then will have challenges. I've never heard of it. How do I log in? How do I do this? How do I do that?
Always.
Yeah, and a lot though won't use it. We'll have businesses that won't use it, that just will continually want to pick up the phone and book in and give you your credit card details over the phone. And we'll still always have that, but you try to reduce that.
For sure, for sure. But I 100% agree that onboarding, not only for the team members, but onboarding new members on a new technology is also very important, because you cannot just, say, here's the new tool, you figure out how to use it. It needs to be done step by step, and it's a very common practice. So yeah, I agree with this 100%. We talked about the onboarding, we talked about the training, and how was your experience with the support of Glue Up after you go live? Because some of our potential clients, they also, sometimes they say, okay, so we go through the training, you have very robust, the materials, trainings, the calls, the customer success manager. But what happens after we go live? Is it like nothing, or you still provide us with the support?
Yeah, no, I think we found it very difficult. The whole that Glue Up is an international platform, and that we go on a call. I remember going on a call, but the time difference, I was on the call at the wrong time by 2 hours. So the time difference of being on calls in Ireland, we're just used to GMT. We're used to nothing else, just GMT. So these calls coming in, inviting us to calls GMT +5 or +12, that was a challenge for us to understand and get used to, just those little things like that. The ongoing support has been very good. I think the support at the very beginning was if you go to Glue Up, you're given all these documents with links, and you click this link for this part and click this link for that part. So Glue Up are kind of telling you, find the information yourself. I think that's really good. It was very frustrating at the beginning, where you go to this and click on this and you'll find it all out, but you find it out all yourself. So basically what you're telling us is the information is there. It's in the resource pack. It's under this heading and that heading, but you find it yourself, and all the resource and the YouTube tutorials are all there. Sometimes in Ireland, you just want to pick up the phone and get the answer within 30 seconds. So that we found that challenging, that the information, the answer to our question, you have to get yourself within the resource pack. Would that make sense, Ksenia?
Yes, absolutely. We actually, because of that, when we start running the weekly, I think it's called office hours, they're happening on Fridays. They're run by our customer success managers. It's basically a webinar where everyone can register to and attend and ask any questions live. And obviously, even if you don't have any questions, you can still attend and listen to other questions, because there are a lot of similar questions, right, coming from the organizations, unless there are some some specific cases. And what would you maybe do differently, or advice you would share with others when it comes to the onboarding with Glue Up?
Yeah, I think, I suppose in Ireland we were the first chamber to move over to Glue Up. I'd rather be number 4 or 5 in that, because then we could contact a local chamber, and so you can find out information about the system by contacting other chambers in the country. But we're number 1, and we're proud to be number 1. And now we have a number 2 as well, Fingal Chamber, which is great. So they'll probably come to us a good bit. But I think you just have to make the leap. We all have to make a leap with systems at some stage. Our next leap is probably we're very happy with our account system and our integration there, and everything else that we have. Our next probably leap is probably our website, and looking at transforming that now in the next 12 months.
Got it. Yeah, changing the website is, I think it's very challenging. But just in case if anyone would be interested, we also have the website development services. I ran out of questions for the webinar today, but maybe there is something that I didn't ask you, and you think it's important that people should know about. Let me know.
Well, the one thing we haven't done yet is we haven't looked at the email, the newsletter capability. We haven't done that yet. We haven't looked at another. What I would find very interesting is, I know within the system we can send direct emails to specific So we do HR roundtables, so big roundtable discussions on HR. So we know we can send out specific emails to people in the HR industry. But as with any system, it's only as good as the information we put into the system. So do we have the right title assigned to the right people? So we have a lot of work to do there yet before we start utilizing it for that. But I think that would be really beneficial. And the event room side, we haven't messed around with that yet. We have a big lunch next week. We have 350 people at a lunch, but we haven't opened up the event room where people can see who's attending the lunch. So we haven't done that yet. So we're going to do it next year with smaller groups, and just try that with smaller groups and learn what that looks like, because I don't know what that looks like yet. But maybe that's on a Friday call, because then we jump onto a Friday call and then find out how that works.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree that, sometimes it's better to do it like a step by step, start from small as you're doing the onboarding for your members, and then you just introduce it to a bigger group. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Allan, first of all, really appreciate your support and for being the first one in Ireland for choosing Glue Up, and also for making the time to join our session today. Thank you also everyone for joining the webinar. We will make sure to send the recording once it's ready by our marketing team. And I wish you all a very productive December and happy holidays, of course. It's coming.
Exactly. Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you, Allan.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.